Good day, folks. Thank you so much for joining us today for another very interesting session. Today we are in London with Bilal Sheikh outside a Columbia store, and I'll get to share with you why we are here and how we get to go about that. But anyway, let's get started by us having to ask Bilal a little bit about himself first. Thank you, Bilal. Today is training, and thank you for joining us. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Uh, I graduated in electronic engineering from GIK, Pakistan in 2011. And in Pakistan, I worked for 8 years in control systems industry as a control system engineer. And so after that, I got my immigration to Canada. I moved to Canada in February 2020.
Interesting. And Bilal, you are one of those lucky folks, at least, who have been able to secure a job before they landed in Canada. So, how did you go about doing that?
Basically, I set a deadline for myself that I would be moving to Canada in February 2020. And since November of 2019, I started looking for jobs. I got a Canadian number through a software TextNow, and got a Canadian address from my friend. So I got one Alberta address, one Ontario address, and I used to spend every day like 1 hour to 2 hours applying for jobs on Indeed.com and LinkedIn.
So, how long did it take for you to complete the whole process?
Took it took some time. Basically, when you start applying for a job, it takes like 1 to 2 months for responses to come in. But responses do come in. You have to keep on applying, and yeah. So and also I also gave some remote interviews as well, and what I found that the issue which I faced was that because I wasn't at that point in time I wasn't based in Canada. So whenever I was interviewed, I used to usually I used to give an argument that I'm outside Canada for services, for engineering services. But the employers, they did not usually buy out that. But I kept on applying, and eventually I did get an employer who contacted me. They were interested to hire me, and I was interviewed my interview started with my current employer in January, and when I landed in Canada, the next day I had my final interview in Canada, and I started my job within 3 weeks after landing in Canada.
So, when did the final offer come in? They started in January, and when did the final offer come in?
The final offer came in, I think so, end of February.
End of February. What's the nature of the work that you do?
I'm basically a control system engineer. So basically, we designed the control rooms of big plants, you can say, the software and the hardware side. That is the primary experience I had in Pakistan, but over here, I had to pivot a little. Currently, I am not doing exactly control system job. It's alarm management job. So it is a little pivot from my actual experience. So for this, I had to read a lot. I had to study a lot of laws, and in addition to that, a lot of new standards. But it went well.
And you're right now also in the process of doing your professional engineer PE,
Yes,
right?
yes. I have applied for my PEng, and I think it takes some time, maybe around 1 year to get.
You have to work as a EIT, right?
Yes, yes.
Right. So, Bilal, a couple of other questions. For those folks who are planning to come to Canada in your particular field, what do you recommend for them? How should they pursue?
I suggest that they should set a deadline of at this date they are moving to Canada, and they should at least start applying for jobs 1.5 months or 2 months before moving over here. So because in Canada the process, the response, you don't get a response immediately. It takes around 1 to 2 months to get a response. So if you start applying 2 months beforehand, by the time you land in Canada, employers will start contacting you. If you start applying after moving here, you are actually losing 2 months. So so I would suggest that start applying 2 months before.
And how have you found a Canadian life generally over here? Is Canada? Do you think it's a good choice that you made, or what's your feeling about that?
I feel that it was a really good choice, and I would say that I have been one of the few lucky ones whose settlement in Canada was very easy because I got a job very quickly. But other than that, I'm quite happy over here, and I really like the Canadian lifestyle. Yeah. So other than family back home, I don't miss anything else.
So thank you so much, Bilal, for taking the time out today here in this rainy settings. And then thank you so much, and hopefully we will share your LinkedIn profile and the YouTube link, and then people can reach out if they want to, right?
Okay, sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.